Serving up a warm dish of the Triads culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Well, hey, folks, and welcome to episode 155 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of May 25th through the 31st, 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And I'm Leah Metz.
And we are opening the recipe box. I left the recipe box at the studio, but that's what I got.
All right.
We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in my house, although we are still social distancing and using Zoom, sponsored by Bull's Tavern, 408 West 4th Street. As soon as she's able, she is opening under different procedures. It'll be, at the beginning, it'll probably be reservation only, and it'll be a smaller thing, like little, not coffee shop, because they'll have cocktails and everything, but it'll be just a more intimate setting. They'll have like acoustic shows and things like that. So when they can, Bull's Tavern, you can find them Bull's WSNC on almost everything. So except for Instagram, which is Bull's Tavern. All right. Well, first of all, we're going to stop everything we're doing and wish our favorite co-host that isn't Leah and me, Ray Morgan, a very, very, very happy birthday. Or as I like to say, happy solar circumnavigational anniversary day.
Thank you. It has been a good one so far.
Good.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, how old are you now? 29 and holding?
No, actually, officially 54 now.
Okay. Officially. You were only unofficially 54 yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter was like, "You don't look much older than a day over 53. Like, thanks.
Well, again, happy birthday from all of us and from all the listeners. We all wish you happy birthday.
Thank you very much. We're going to have some fun today.
Oh, yeah. So we have a lot of ground to cover. There's actually two reasons I felt we needed to podcast today instead of taking the holiday off. One is because of Ray. We wanted to make sure we publicly acknowledged that he was having a birthday, and we wanted to wish him happy birthday. And the other reason is the floodgates of the reemergence of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County restaurants has opened. And to be fair to this list, Leah and I agreed that today is a holiday, and since we're treating this like a business, we're observing the holiday outside of this podcast. So some info may change. Also, many restaurants hadn't updated social media as of the last check, which was Saturday. And the ineffective social media of some restaurants will be a topic for another day. So we won't pick on them much today. But phase...
Yeah, we've got other more positive stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. We have...
Good things.
Phase 2 openings are as follows. And there's a caveat, or not caveat, there's an amendum at the bottom. So if I forget something this time, don't freak out. The openings are as follows. 1703 Restaurant Arriba Villa, Bobo's Deli. Is it Bobo's or Babos? I think it's Bobo's Grill. Cagney's. Yeah. Camel City Barbecue Factory, Chin Chin. Hey, Daphne. Clemens Kitchen, Crazy Crab, Cugino Forno, East Coast Wings, at least Brett Weaver's 2. That's the one on Peters Creek, and on Renolda Road, I think it's Renolda Commons is the shopping center. Mm-hmm. Foothills, just the actual brew pub, the one downtown. Grandma Ruby's Country Cookin', Ichiban, K&W, which I knew was coming, King's Crab Shack, La Botana, Little Richard's, Los Torritos, Mama Zoe Michaels. Hey again, Daphne. Mayflower, Mellow Mushroom, Mi Pueblo, Midtown Cafe, Monte Del Rey, or Del Rey. Not you, Ray Morgan, but Monte Del Rey. Omega House, Pancho Villas, Pete's Family Restaurant, Putter's, Radar Brewing, River Birch Lodge, Roosters, Ryan's Restaurant, Senor Bravo, Sir Winston, Small Batch, Taco Rico, Tequila Mexican Restaurant, The Carriage House, The Porch, patio only for now, The Prescott, also patio only for now, The Sherwood, Wayback Burgers, Westtown Restaurant, Excaret, Yamas, hey Daphne, and Young Yamas and Young Cardinal. All of those are open as of this past weekend, with a couple of those opening today. So those are all happening that are currently open. Now, a couple more are planning openings tomorrow, or at least in the next week or so. Those are Six and Vine, which is going back to curbside and takeout this Thursday or Wednesday, the 27th, and they're opening their patio only on the 29th. Cowboy Brazilian Steakhouse is doing dine-in starting the 27th, which is Wednesday. Hey, Joel. Fratelli's Italian Steakhouse will start dine-in tomorrow. Giada's Trattoria will start tomorrow, dine-in. Johnny B's is doing patio only currently. Meridian will reopen this Friday, the 29th. Milner's American Southern will do dine-in starting the 5th of June. They are still doing their takeout and curbside now. Mission Pizza Napolitana, we'll go over that one in a minute because it's kind of funny. Spruce Street Garden Craft Tavern and Stoked Wood Fire Grill are both opening tomorrow. The Flower Box Tea Room and Cafe will start dine-in on the 3rd of June. The Old 4th Street Filling Station is dine-in as of tomorrow, and they had a long list of things that they're going to be doing. The Rhythm Lounge and Grill have a limited dine-in schedule. I know that brunch will be on their menu, their schedule, but I don't know about other days just yet. They weren't clear about that. Now, Waldo's Wings, Burgers, and Brews, again, hey, Daphne. I talked with Daphne, and they are painting and doing some work inside, but plan on doing the dine-in in the next few weeks. So those are all where I'm at. Leah, did I miss anything?
So the Beer Growler just put a post up a little bit ago this morning, late last night, that they've gotten approval to do, you can go and sit and drink. And it has something to do with because of the glassware. I don't know. There's a very long post about it.
Well, probably the NC Brewers Coalition or whatever they're called.
Might have.
They have really lobbied for that. They're trying to get the bars, but the bars are still on hold right now. So. And
then what's our buddy over at Carrabba's doing? What is he up to?
Oh yeah, Carrabba's is full on open with the
come as you are, let's eat.
Yeah, but of course, all of them stressed emphatically that they were 50% capacity, and they were sanitizing everything after every guest walks out. So before another butt sits in the seat, it will be sanitized, and the tables will all be sanitized, every customer. So it's not just, when we'll get to it. No, it's every time they bus a table, it's sanitized. Mm-hmm. So
we went and partook over at Radar Brewing Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Saw the picture.
Yeah.
Before we walked in the door, they were cleaning the door because somebody had just come in front of us, and then they had gone around. Actually, I want to say they wiped everything down, and we're just making a cycle of circling. And though we were one of two groups sitting inside. It seemingly that they were just had a checklist. We're just constantly cleaning.
Yeah.
So it was amazing to see that, and the wiping down of everything before and after.
Well, I've maintained since all this began that the food part was safe because they are already under stringent scrutiny because of what they do. So, of course, they're already going to be really diligent on their work, but at the same time, I believe this will continue, at least for the foreseeable future, that the restaurants will be very, very, very clean and very, very, very safe. I think this is one of the positives that come out of this. And the reason I didn't mention Carrabba's in that list is because Stephanie and I are actually going to Carrabba's today before they open, because I'm still not ready to eat in a restaurant with people. But not that I don't trust not trust the restaurants. I don't trust other people. So Stephanie and Daniel invited us to come because he's done a little bit of work on the inside.
Cool.
The pillars that were on the booths are all gone, and he's taken that wood and actually made, because he's gotten, right before all this happened, he got into woodworking and making like cutting boards. So he took those. They were very ornate and decorative, and made for charity. He sold them to give back to charity, the cutting boards. So yeah, he wants me to see what's going on, and he told me, he says, and just for you, I'll cook you a meal so you can actually eat in a restaurant, because I know you're not ready for that yet. So that's why I hadn't. Go ahead.
Well, and it's definitely, it's interesting. Sure, I wholeheartely trust the restaurant staff and the owners and all that to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But as much as we've gone to, we went to CVS the other day, and I would say 70 to 80% of the people did not have masks on. And so it's one of not being able to trust our fellow man to do the right thing when you're in those spaces. And so, yeah, we, knowing Radar was a little bit out of the way and could go over there, and we were going to go in, get a growler and leave, and seeing that there was hardly anybody there, decided to just stay and watched, and it was amazing to watch what the staff did. Folks need to be smart out there about how they're protecting themselves and others.
We can't rely on other people to do the right thing. We have seen, history is in our pocket. We see everything that people don't do right. I've been in Radar a couple of times just to get crowlers, because when we were recording the Less Desirables on Mondays, and I was already at the studio, I would go grab food and then jump by one of the breweries right there, whether it be Incendiary or Radar or Wise Man or Fiddlin' Fish. Hoots wasn't open at the times that I needed them to be, so I wasn't able to use theirs. And Foothills is always an option, but I can't wait I told the guys at Radar, I can't wait to go and just sit and have a beer with them. I liked what I've had from them. I mean, it's good stuff, and I told them I can't wait for that. Willow's hasn't posted anything about themselves on their Facebook post, only posts about King's Crab Shack. Mostly just Will loves his cross promotion. But according to Carol Leggett, who seems to know when Will does everything, he could probably tell you Will's bathroom schedule and things like that too. I mean, I love Carol Leggett. Don't get me wrong. It's just he is on it when it comes to any Will Kingery restaurant. But according to Carol Leggett, and it seems official because the people who are principals like Will and his wife Dawn and everyone have liked the post, as well as Matthias, which is the executive chef at Willow's. have announced that they are opening tomorrow with takeout with dine-in and their patio. So that's coming. Camino Bakery will open its Brookstown location only this Thursday, the 28th. There is a post about it on their Facebook page, and I made a post on the Man Who Ate the Town website today. Yeah, so that's all I have, Leah. If you have anything else to add there.
I think you've covered that.
Yeah,
it's a pretty long list, and it's changing every second.
Yeah.
So.
And hold on a second, I'll tell you what numbers I have.
I will say one thing that struck me as you're going down through this list is, one, how many of those restaurants I've been to, and two, how much I was getting the oh.
Yeah.
It's like, they're going to be open. Oh, no, that's going to be open. Oh, no, that one's going to be, oh, man, I'm going to need to make a list and put a schedule together. I'm going to go this one for breakfast. I'll hit this for lunch. I'll go there for dinner. Now tomorrow I'm going to do this one for snack. It's like there's so many places that we haven't been able to go to. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, now we can go. All right, well, let's make a list.
Oh, yeah. And definitely. So the numbers are, this is on my version of the list, which, again, for everybody who doesn't know, Leah's list and my list is practically identical. I may have something listed different than she does, but they're the same list, okay? On my list, we have 321 restaurants listed. Of those, we have 125 that do delivery, 124 that has curbside, 246 of them are doing takeout. 58 of them now will do the dine-in options in some shape or form, and only 51 of them now are closed. And that could be the closed, just like COVID testing, could be the aforementioned restaurants who do not update their social media enough for us to know what's going on and only rely on their regulars or people who are driving by. Again, that will be addressed in the coming months. But so that's where we sit now. So it's been a weird but fun kind of journey to curate this list the way we have, and as far as I'm concerned, we're not stopping because everything's opening back up. Actually, I want the list to be as comprehensive as possible, and if nothing else, it's a good directory for the people of Winston and surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Well, and it's definitely there are a lot of places that I just didn't even realize. And so it's exciting to kind of expand, our footprint and where we've gone and go try some other places. And certainly having looked at some of these pictures of deliciousness, it has been enticing to be like, I need to go check them out.
I'm going to make a conscious effort once things are a little more easier for me to sit in a restaurant. I can't guarantee I'm going to make it to every restaurant, but I'm going to make a conscious effort to, out of the 321, at least get 250 under my belt, if they are not already. I've not counted which ones I've been to or not, but
yeah. That would be an interesting thing for us to mark which ones we've been to, and then because at the moment, if we just went to every place on our list once a day, it would take us a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
No vacation, no day off.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing. And to know that there's others there that we're probably still missing.
Well, I know there's
other places,
because I don't know how to address them. The Guadalajara Taqueria Guadalajara #2 on Peters Creek Parkway is not on our list. And I saw yesterday the sign was on for open and people were walking out of it. So of the 321 that we have on the list, I mean, we're probably still only about 75% of what's actually here. And I'm not counting the multiple location spots. I do have both Burke Street pizzas listed separately. I have 2 of the 5 local East Coast wings listed separately, because I have the two that Brent Weaver own, like I said, Peters Creek and Renolda, and then the Country Club location as its own. And then
places like Cagney's that have multiple locations.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
Mayberry's.
yeah. And eventually I want to list all of them because, I mean, this is a directory and we do provide a link for people to call from the list. So I would like to, whenever they are clicking to call, they know which one they're calling. Like for Cagney's, for instance, I'm closer to the one on Old Salisbury Road. However, the one that you click to call is the one on Cloverdale. So right. The original one. So we will address that as time goes on. I think we have been just scrambling to make sure we kept everything current. And as things become more, I won't say relaxed because hopefully it doesn't get relaxed, but as things become more quote unquote normal, we can add to it and, switch up some things, maybe make it, more intuitive or, I'm still working on the app. The problem that we've run into to get the app going now is the hosting platform, because I host it on GoDaddy, and GoDaddy is notoriously awful to work with on their hosting side. I'm probably going to have to migrate it to the hosting company that I use for all my other podcasts. But it's not wanting to cooperate because of the GoDaddy platform. At least that's what the Candy has said. So it's coming. And I think one of the things that we're probably going to have to do is get a map of Winston and work a grid pattern and just drive around. Because I've noticed whenever we're driving around, because we haven't been driving around, I notice so many more things. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, is that one on the list? And then, I scroll through, okay, we got that one. And I'm like, I didn't realize that they were located there, or just around the ballpark, all the stuff that's been torn down. I was like, what? Yeah. Just because we've been at home. So it'll be interesting to see who, is driving around, figure out, who needs to be added.
Well, I mean, this whole thing has really been a labor of love, and it's just, hats off to what y'all have been doing here for the last several months. I mean, y'all haven't gotten anything out of this other than the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping. So yeah, it's impressive work.
Well, I've gotten to know when In Town Donuts is open, so I can run over there and get me maple donuts. That's a benefit in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fringe benefit.
Just like in the newspapers, I have to have a corrections blurb, which really equates to our awesome listeners keeping us straight, mostly me straight. My good friend Jim sent me a correction via text. He says, last week I erroneously said that, he says Boris Karloff narrated The Grinch. Unless I missed a correction, you said Bela Lugosi, and I did say that. He says, sorry for being, quote, unquote, that guy, LOL. And I said, I don't mind it at all because I don't want to be a liar. And I don't want to have I'm here to give information, whether it's trivial or not. And he's right. I did not correct that. And it was Boris Karloff. But it was still Thurl Ravenscroft that sang the song. Also, Street Team Steven says quiche Lorraine, which we talked about last week. That's the basic quiche with bacon and onion and cheese. So that we now know that. And also the Coquille Saint-Jacques that I skipped over kind of 2 weeks ago is scallops. That's what that is. And also a special thank you to Stephen because he, quote unquote, sponsored a meal from Carrabba's this weekend for Stephanie and me. It was much appreciated. Stephen, I value your friendship and hope to get back to our lunch excursions very soon. So, again, thank him for that. I was going to have a guest today, but I figured with all this we had to talk about, because we're already 25 minutes in, just go ahead and do that, and then we'll get to the food holidays and history for today. So that's what we're doing. On the 25th, it's Ray's birthday, obviously, which is a holiday on itself. It's also Memorial Day today, which is always the last Monday in May. This is when we pay tribute to the U.S. men and women who died during military service. Not to be confused with Veterans Day, which is the 11th of November, and it is to all people who have served, not just the people who have passed away. It's also something I can get into, National Wine Day. And it's also National Brown Baguette Day, which means you pack your own lunch, which I think is kind of dumb, because who's working today? Who's going to pack a lunch today? This is cookout day, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, you're talking about brown baguette, and I'm not picturing food.
Well, you're right. You know, because they have the brown bag laws that you can brown bag in certain locations if they're licensed to do so. But yeah, so it could be that Brown Bag Day falls on May 25th every year, and it just so happened to fall on Memorial Day this year. So on the 25th in 1882, the first frozen mutton from New Zealand arrived in Britain. In 1935, on the 25th.
Look at his face. You're like, mutton. No, frozen mutton. No. Oh.
You don't like mutton? Not a lamb person?
It needs a better name.
Yeah.
That's
mutton.
I mean,
it's like moist.
How'd you like some gruel with your mutton?
Some frozen mutton.
It's like moist. You know that word moist. It's like for Thanksgiving.
How about some moist mutton?
The thing about Thanksgiving, my sister says, "May your turkey be moist, and may no one tell you that it is," because she hates hearing that word too. In 1935, on the 25th, Babe Ruth hit the final home run of his career, number 714, at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, home of my, at the time, beloved, and still my beloved Pittsburgh Pirates, but they don't play there. They play in PNC Park, and before that, they played in Three Rivers Stadium. In 1986, on the 25th, 6 million Americans participated in Hands Across America by holding hands and singing across 4,150 miles of road in support of the hungry and the homeless.
I remember that.
I remember that as well. Didn't they have T-shirts and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In 2007, a company we're going to talk a lot about today, it seems, Coca-Cola created a 3,000-gallon, 15-foot-high ice cream float with vanilla Coke and ice cream, and set the new world record for the largest ice cream float. The float was certified as drinkable by health inspectors, but instead it was disposed of by a garbage company. And Coke has also, before that, held the previous record set in 1998 with a 2,085-gallon float.
I mean, you would have to have like a ton of straws or something to share, to be able to share that.
And wouldn't that be gross? Yeah. Might as well just eat mutton.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Frozen
there you go.
mutton.
Frozen mutton. Yeah. And gruel.
Yeah. Gruel.
In a brown bag.
In a brown bag. Pack your own gruel day. On the 26th, it's National Blueberry Cheesecake Day.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It does. And National Cherry Dessert Day. So blueberries and cherries all on the same day.
And if you use some white icing, it'd be all American.
It would be. Look at that. On the 26th, in 1647, Alcee Young of Windsor becomes the first person on record to be executed for witchcraft in the American colonies when she is hanged in Hartford, Connecticut. That was the most ridiculous thing ever, but not ever, but still ridiculous. On the 26th in 1908.
We've still got that same mentality hanging out there in parts of our world.
Oh, this is so true. It just looks different, but it's the exact same thing.
Yeah. They're not going after witches anymore, but they'll go after somebody.
Oh, yeah. In 1908, shortly after 4 a.m., Canadian drillers working on the Anglo-Persian oil company were working for them, made the first major oil discovery in the Middle East at Masjid-e-Suleiman, which is in present-day Iran. In 1927, on the 26th, the last Model T Ford rolled off the assembly line. 15 million Model Ts were entered or produced from 1908 to 1927. It was known as Tin Lizzie. And I have a friend who has a 1926 Model T that they have an Instagram page for it. It's called Twin City T, and they do appearances around town. We actually had it's Laura Overcash and her husband Darren, and they were guests on the Less Desirables 3 weeks ago. So that was good.
It was a cool car.
Yeah.
My great uncle used to have one of those.
What year was his?
I don't remember. I was like 8 years old the last time I got a chance to see it. He lived in Bristol, Tennessee, and he took us on a little tour through downtown in the car, and it was just really cool.
Did it have one of the horns?
Yes, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just cool. I mean, you drive around town in that, and you get noticed. People pointing at us.
Mm-hmm.
On the 26th in 2000, legislation in San Francisco banning discrimination based on height or weight became effective. I would be in trouble both ways, I guess. Before that,
you and me both.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
And speaking of San Francisco, did you guys see that this past week Charlotte passed San Francisco as, I think, the 13th largest city in the country?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I had missed that.
Whatever
that surprised me in some ways. It's really continued to grow.
Yeah, whatever number, I think it's 13. It may be 15 or 16, but whatever number, it jumped over San Francisco this week.
Wow.
On the 26th in 2010 in Greece, a horde of millions of frogs forced the 2-hour closure of a major highway east of Thessaloniki in Greece. Just run them over, right?
I was gonna say, isn't this the game Frogger?
Yeah.
Times millions?
Yes.
Frogs win.
Okay. It took a second.
We do not need a machine to make sound effects. We have Tim.
We're good.
Well, let me see if I get this one right. Yeah. All right. So, 5/27. It's National Grape Popsicle Day. Banana popsicles, strawberry or cherry and orange and all those other popsicles. Be damned. This is Grape Popsicle Day only.
Well, I mean, I like a grape popsicle. So
Well, I do too, but
I like a grape
I'm
one.
cool with that.
this is discrimination.
I'm with Tim though. I'm looking for a little more diversity in my pop.
Yeah. I mean, if I have my
Give me
choice
the
of all
whole
of them,
rainbow.
I'm going with the banana. I love banana popsicles. On the 27th in 1755, the first municipal water pumping plant in America was installed at Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Not Bethlehem, it's Bethlehem. Water was supplied from a 70-foot high tank that was filled with water pumped from a spring through wooden pipes.
Pump it real good.
In 1901 on the 27th,
No, just go right on.
In 1901, on the 27th, Chapman J. Root founded the Root Glass Works in Terre Haute, Indiana, to manufacture glass bottles that would withstand high internal pressures. In 1916, the company would win the design competition for what would become the iconic 6.5-ounce Coca-Cola bottle.
Very cool.
Is very iconic. I mean, that's one thing. You don't even have to see any markings on it to know that bottle was a Coke bottle.
But it is.
In
It fits in your hand. I mean, just the way it fits. It's like it was the perfect design.
Certainly was. In 1919, on the 27th, a U.S. patent was issued for Pyrex glass, which is sodium borosilicate glass. Let's go with that. Sodium borosilicate glass.
Let's go with that,
Yeah. The patent was assigned to Corning Glass Works by the inventors, Corning, research chemists Eugene Sullivan and William C. Taylor. I'm pretty sure that all three of our houses have something Pyrex in it. Leah might not know.
I've got several Pyrex dishes.
Leah's not allowed close to the kitchen, so she might not know if there is.
They're some of the best baking dishes out there.
They certainly are.
Oh
yeah.
I'll have to ask my wife about them.
And it could be be, Leah, that you don't. It's not the baking dishes. They also do measuring cups. They do like prep bowls.
Measuring cup. How do you measure?
Never mind. You're sitting down. It's going right over your head.
Not that one. Hold on. That's it. Okay. They're cut off. In 1930, on the 27th, Richard G. Drew of St. Paul, Minnesota, patented removable masking tape. He worked out a deal with 3M to market it under the Scotch brand. Mm-hmm. In 1933, on the 27th, the first automatic soda fountain dispenser is introduced by Coca-Cola again. 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco officially opened to the public with a week-long Fiesta Week celebration, beginning on the 27th with an exclusive pedestrian day. So people got to walk across it before they got to drive across it. The next day was the driving day. On the 20th...
Glad they didn't get those days mixed up.
Yeah. Because the day after that was drive across the pedestrian day. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
The 28th is National Hamburger Day. I'm for it.
Yes.
It's
yes.
Awesome.
We need more of those.
We certainly do. I had Chin Chin last night, so that was good.
Remind us again, where are we going to get the best burger in the area?
The best burger in the area would be Zesto Burgers, I think, and then Chin Chin. And then, if you're willing to drive, out to Yadkinville for Boondoggies, according to my list from last year. Which is hard to believe that this was the date. Actually, this was the weekend that started my summer of burgers.
The SOB tour.
Yeah, the SOB tour. The SOB doing the summer of burgers. All right, so the 28th is also National Brisket Day. Again, I'm for it.
Yes.
And World Hunger Day, which I believe is just to bring awareness to those that are less fortunate.
Let us feed them brisket.
Let us feed them anything.
Anything, truly.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had my... Mitch Hedberg, rice is good when you're hungry and want 2,000 of something. So that would have been good there. In 1892, on the 28th, the Sierra Club is formed in San Francisco for nature preservation. On the 28th in 1897, Jell-O was introduced. In 1999... Yeah, I didn't know Jell-O was around that long. I think I said that last year, Ray.
I didn't know that either.
But it still surprises me every time. In 1999, on the 28th, after 22.
It's made from whale bones?
Jello?
Jello.
Is it still? I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember as a kid being told that, Jello is you're eating ground up whale bones.
Animal collagen, but who knows?
Yeah. Where do you get collagen?
Often cows and pigs.
So the whales are safe. Cows and pigs.
Well, if we're going to make brisket and barbecue, then we'll have stuff to make Jello.
That's right.
We'll have plenty of bones, yeah.
That's right. In 1999, after 22 years of controversial restoration, Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece, The Last Supper, is returned to public display.
Okay.
On the 28th in 2003, the first cloned horse was born in a natural delivery. Cloned horses are currently banned from racing. Way to make them feel bad. It's like they're already,
right?
They had a womb with a view. Okay. Let's hope that's the last time I have to use that today. In 2010, Hawaii became the first state to ban the sale, possession, trade, or distribution of shark fins. The law is designed to prevent overfishing and extinction of sharks harvested for their fins. What do you use the fins for? Do you use the fins to eat? I don't get it.
I don't know. I guess we could, or do you just reuse them, go to a pool and scare some people?
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Interesting. Soup, says soup, a delicacy.
Yeah.
The shark fins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Asia, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Japan, China, they love particularly shark fin soup.
There's apparently a dried fin market, which brokers shark fin in Hong Kong.
I remember watching a documentary about that a couple of years ago, and I saw the pictures of that market, and it's remarkable. I mean, there's thousands of fins all laid out drying at the same time, and you think, all right, each one of those represents another shark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, how long can you do that before you've destroyed the shark population?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's them and the seals and elephants and all these poached animals for financial gain. I'm not one of those tree huggers, but you gotta appreciate nature for what it is and let it thrive. Now, some cases though, you have to look, there's overpopulation of some of those, but I think the regulation gets a bad rep, but sometimes you really need regulation. And, so if you can regulate the, humane euthanization of the overpopulated animals and the over euthanization of the underpopulated animals, then I think that the happy balance should and could be struck.
Well, there's a place for the high-end predator in the food chain.
Yeah.
They took for example, in Yellowstone, most of the wolves were gone. They'd just been hunted out of existence. And what they found when they put the wolves back in, and now these populations are beginning to thrive, that it actually physically changed the landscape because there was an overpopulation of deer that was happening because there was
nothing to kill them.
They were used to being controlled by a predator.
Right.
So they were eating entire valleys and all this vegetation. And once the wolves were reintroduced, what you saw is vegetation was returning because it wasn't being overeaten anymore. And it was allowing streams to take their natural course instead of them overflowing the bounds, because, you know, the roots were holding things together.
Yeah.
The whole thing to me was just fascinating how it all works together as one giant ecosystem. And even just one spark, little small part, you pull that out, everything begins to fall apart. So yeah, this overfishing of sharks is having a detrimental effect on our oceans.
Well, nature, by nature, is fascinating. It's amazing. And, you know, I remember as a kid when Disney would do the real life adventure things on the Wonderful World of Disney, or the Colorful World of whatever they called it. And I'm like, oh man, I want the cartoons. Come on. But now that I have Disney Plus and I go back and I watch all these, especially the stuff from the 60s, 50s and 60s that they were doing for those, that's amazing stuff. And, you know, life in the world has changed so much since then. But even then, even today, those videos are still powerful. And the things that they're putting out today is even more powerful. Yeah, absolutely. I don't get paid for saying this, but I'm a huge Disney fan. But if you're not a Disney Plus subscriber, there's plenty. It's more than just Disney and Star Wars and Marvel. They also have a large stake in National Geographic, and the stuff that they produce there is just fantastic. So, in addition to those real life adventure things that they did in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, we've been checking out a couple of the series on Nat Geo and loving it.
Yeah.
Just loving it.
Yeah. The 29th is National Cocoa Vin Day, not Cocoa Vin, not cocoa and wine, Ray, but it's basically rooster, or not rooster, probably chicken that is done in wine sauce. And it's
I'm
also
good with that too.
Yeah, me too. It's also National World Biscuit Day. I like biscuits.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of biscuits.
Well, I mean, how can you live in the South and not be a fan of a biscuit?
Yeah.
Well, and come on, Mary's, her biscuits. Them things big as your head, and you can get them grilled, and
I mean,
some apple butter.
Those things are so big, you could use them to chock the wheels of a big fire truck. Not saying they're hard. I'm just saying they're that big.
They're that big.
On the 29th in 1886, there we go. Our friends Coca-Cola today get a lot. Invented by pharmacist John Pemberton in 1885. It was advertised for the first time in the Atlanta Daily on the 29th in 1886. On the 29th in 1919, Charles Strite of Stillwater, Minnesota, applied for a pop-up toaster patent, which I believe we are still using today.
Yeah.
On the 29th, we don't have one, but I know people do. On the 29th in 2004, tens of millions of pounds of almonds were recalled by one of the world's largest almond producers, located in California due to a salmonella outbreak. At least 25 people were sickened in states from Alaska to Michigan.
Wow.
I don't know
which. 40% of the world's almond crop goes into chocolate?
I did not know that.
You know where I learned that?
Where?
From Mr. Tim Beeman. Learned that here on this podcast.
And here I said I did not know that, but I'm sure it'll come up.
It'll circle back around and be like, oh, there it is.
Yep,
there it is.
On the 30th, it is Mint Julep Day. So I want is it the Kentucky Derby Day? When is the Kentucky Derby supposed to be?
I don't know that there is one this year.
Yeah. I'll let my IT team look that up, Leah.
Yeah, well, all it came up was as postponed.
Okay.
Is what it says.
All right.
Now I have seen the post on Facebook where somebody's shown the masks of the Kentucky Derby, because the ladies always have the giant hats.
Yeah.
And these are masks with feathers all over them and sequins and just like ultra fancy kind of thing. I was like, oh, that's funny.
That's
nice. Said for last year it was May 4th, so it's come and gone.
Okay.
I missed it.
Okay. The 30th in 1539, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto landed in Florida. In 1783, the first daily American newspaper was published in Philadelphia. It was called the Philadelphia Evening Post. In 1821, James Boyd of Boston received a patent for a fire engine hose made of cotton web lined with rubber, and I believe that's still the way it is made today. Mm-hmm. In 1848, on the 30th, William G. Young of Baltimore, Maryland, received a patent for an improved ice cream freezer.
Oh, we needed that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We needed to improve how it's frozen. Yeah, that's good.
Good patent, sir. In 1856, the first milk quality law in the United States prohibiting adulteration of milk was signed by the governor of Massachusetts. We need to keep that milk young, not adulterize it. Okay.
Stay a kid as long as possible. Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Change is coming around real soon. Make us women and men. I love it. The studio audience went with you to the living room.
Yeah, they follow me everywhere. In 1879, William K. Vanderbilt acquired Gilmore's Garden in New York City and renamed it. Anyone? Bueller?
Central Park?
Nope. Madison Square Garden.
There you go.
And this is William Vanderbilt of the Vanderbilt family, who Cornelius was the dad, and then the grandfather, then the next one, the Williams and all that stuff. But this is William, a different, and his brother was George, who did the Biltmore House in Asheville. So, yeah, that's
the Biltmores.
The Biltmores, yep, or Vanderbilt. And also Cornelius was the founder of Vanderbilt University in Nashville.
Cool.
In 1899, George Cook of Louisville, Kentucky, received a patent for an automatic fishing device. No word on what that device was. On the 30th in 1970, Detroit Tigers outfielders Al Kaline and Jim Northrup collided while attempting to catch a line drive. Al Kaline laid in the grass, choking and gasping for air. It turned out he had swallowed his tongue. After an overnight stay in the hospital, he was back in the lineup. I'm sure if that happened today, he would not be in the lineup the next day. He would be in the hospital for at least 3 days under a concussion protocol, I'm pretty sure.
Something.
In 1990, on the 30th, France bans the import of British beef and live cattle due to fears over BSE, or mad cow disease.
Mad cow, yep.
Which is worse than slightly angry, or perturbed cow disease.
It's flat out just mad.
Yeah.
Mad. Hangry.
Yeah. Pissed off cow disease. In 2003, the Concorde supersonic airliner made its final scheduled flight from Paris to New York as Air France took the Concordes out of service. On May 31st, the Concorde made its last return trip to France. Funny that they've not really replaced the Concorde, because you can get from New York to London in 4 hours or something like that on the Concords. So I'm surprised they haven't replaced it with something.
Yeah, I don't think they were ever making money with the Concorde.
No, because
it cost them too much.
Yeah, it costs way too much. On the 31st, it's National Macaroon Day, which are small cookies made from ground almonds, sugar, and egg whites, probably originated in Venice or somewhere around there in the 14th or 15th century. You know who makes good macaroons?
Our friends over at the Humblebee.
Yes, exactly.
Pop, pop, pop.
The 31st, in 1790, the first U.S. copyright law was signed by George Washington. In 1884, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg applied for a patent for flaked cereal, which is cornflakes. It was his brother Will Keith Kellogg, the W.K. Kellogg, who became rich and famous by marketing the new cereal commercially. And on the 31st in 1892, Lee and Perrins, not Leah and Perrins, label was trademarked. So, and that was the original. That was the original Worcestershire sauce. And that's your food holidays in history for this week. Special thanks to James Eagler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, ponder why we take so long getting from New York to London and beyond. Make us have a conversation about whaling or sharking and other curiosity topics. The Man Who Ate to Town
bunny trails.
Yes. The Man Who Ate to Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Apartment 5B, Beeswax, Final, and more. Sipping in C and what?
And you should.
And you should. And Wheeler's Dog. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links for each one right there as well. We'd greatly appreciate if you visit our sponsors like the aforementioned Humblebee shop. What's on her thing? Does it say what she's doing?
Last thing was just the order and get your order in by a certain date and it'll be ready type thing. But she had some beautiful macaroons on there. They were pretty. Might have to get me some.
And I do know this week's The Less Desirables, which will come out on Wednesday, will have Dana Moody as a guest who has been partnering with Brittany through all this.
And she's got some delicious peanut butter chocolate pie and some delicious macaroni and cheese pie, whatever.
And that's at the West End Coffee House, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
but they've been make sure we throw their name out there.
Yeah, they've been doing a collab between the two of them, and when things are open back up, they may continue to do that, or they may not. I'm not sure. But go to Instagram right now and look up the Humblebee shop. Brittany is whipping up the batter on some delicious desserts, cakes, muffins, be it regular, vegan, or gluten-free. The Humblebee shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram or visit thehumblebeeshop.co.
That's SHOPPE.co.
Also, we have Carrabba's Italian Grill, located 587 South Stratford Road. Let Daniel demonstrate what a responsible, large-scale family of restaurants look like. Carrabba's takes the community it serves very seriously. If you have a fantastic franchisee like Daniel, you know everything's right in the world. So follow Carrabba's on social media and at carrabbas.com. Washington Perk and Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk. Local fruits and veggies, meat and dairy from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas made right here in Winston-Salem. Wolfie's Custard, also made right here in Winston-Salem, and much more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, Washington Perk or at WashingtonPerk_DTWS on Instagram. Keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, if something's not on the list that you think should be there, send an email if you are so inclined to do so at tim@themanwhoatetown.com or LEARMETZ@gmail. And that will be different coming soon, I think, at least for the official part. And or or contact us via Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter instant messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are manwho8thetown. On Instagram, we are manwho8thetown. And now we invite you to call or leave a voicemail for the podcast. Actually, any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's 336-422 NUM. Leave a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. 336-422-NUM 6862. A reminder to all of our listeners, and it's just good practice, not just now, but for always, wash your damn hands. Damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Don't have to be anything fancy, just soap. Sing Happy Birthday or sing the first verse of Scenes from an Italian Restaurant from Billy Joel, or
or Jack and
Diane from John Cougar Mellencamp.
Sing the whole song just because you haven't heard it in a while and it needs to be sung.
That's true. It's a little ditty, by the way.
Yeah, it's about Jack and Diane.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just two American kids just doing the best they can.
Yeah. I don't know, though. You got that time they were sitting outside the Tasty Freeze.
Oh.
He had his hand between her knees. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me dribble out them Bobby Brooks. Let me do what I please.
Well, I'm going to make a surprise. Someone's making a surprise appearance here. I sent the wrong invite to the Less Desirables folks, and Bethany showed up with us today.
I'm just popping in. I just got an invite, and I was like, I don't really know what this is for, but I'm going to follow directions. So I'm hanging out in my jammies, coming into a Zoom invite that I don't even know what it is.
Well, this is this is the man who ate the town.
Well, hey, the man who ate the town.
So everybody knows Bethany is one of my work wives, my co-host, one of my co-hosts on the Less Desirables podcast. And like I said, I accidentally sent Danielle and Bethany and Dana Moody, who will be our guest on the show this week, the invite for this session instead of the one, or I did send the other one too, but I did make a mistake. But I'm glad to hear your voice.
It's nice to meet everybody. Are we talking about food today? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we were talking about food. And today is Ray Morgan's birthday. We were wishing him a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. My birthday is May 30th. I'm assuming you're a fellow Gemini then.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Yay.
Very cool. Happy birthday.
Yeah, see that you've got birthday stuff on.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been accessorized already today.
And he's already been drinking. So that's, here we are just now at noon. So yay.
The sun was over a yard arm somewhere. That's all I needed.
Well, and you came in at the very end, B. We're getting ready to head out, but hang on where you are. So you can say bye with everybody else.
I was looking forward to being a guest on this show all day.
Well, now
you can
here.
Come back and be a guest.
Yeah, you can always come back and be a guest anytime you want.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and sign off. My name is Tim.
My name's Ray.
I'm Leah.
And you are Bethany, right?
Oh, I didn't know how many people were on here. Bethany.
All right. Well, until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.